Before you try to impress her, understand this. Most men never lose a woman because they are unattractive. They lose her because they are emotionally unstable. They talk too much when they should be silent. They chase when they should stand still. They try to prove their worth instead of living it. And slowly, without a fight, without an argument, attraction disappears. What if the real secret to impressing women was not more effort, but less need? What if calm was more seductive than confidence? And self-control more attractive than intensity? In this video, you won't hear dating tricks or manipulation. You will hear the uncomfortable truths men learn only after loss. The kind of truths that don't make you popular, but make you respected. If you're tired of chasing, overthinking, and performing for attention, stay with me. Because once you understand Stoic love, you'll never approach women the same way again. Welcome to the channel, Stoic Love Wisdom. This is where we will learn, explore, and share valuable lessons about love. In today's video, I will reveal to you what are the real secrets to impressing women, a new perspective, helping you better understand the factors that determine a happy and sustainable relationship. Let's explore with me the secrets to building a strong and meaningful love. Before we start, find a quiet place, put on your headphones and relax. Let all your worries melt away, and let the messages in this video help you calm down and feel the most complete. Are you ready? Let's start now. Part 1. The first truth most men refuse to accept. When I was younger, I believed what most men are taught. That impressing a woman meant doing more, saying more, proving more. More compliments. More attention. More effort. More performance. I thought attraction was something you earned by trying hard enough. Years later, after relationships that drained me, women who lost interest without explanation, and moments where I asked myself, what did I do wrong? I finally understood a truth that changes everything. Women are not impressed by effort. They are impressed by inner stability. This is where Stoic love begins. Not with techniques. Not with lines. But with who you are when no one is watching. Attraction is not created, it is revealed. Here's the first secret most men don't want to hear. You don't create attraction. You reveal it. A woman is not drawn to your actions alone. She is drawn to the state behind those actions. Two men can say the exact same words. One sounds needy. The other sounds grounded. Same sentence. Different inner posture. Stoicism teaches this clearly. Control what is within you. Let go of what is not. You cannot control whether a woman likes you. But you can control your emotional reactions. Your self-respect. Your boundaries. Your sense of purpose. Ironically, the moment you stop trying to impress, you become impressive. The energy of a man who does not chase approval. Women are incredibly sensitive to emotional subtext. They hear what you don't say. They feel what you're trying to hide. A man who seeks approval gives off a subtle vibration. Please like me. Please don't leave. Please validate me. Even if he never says it. A Stoic man gives off something else. I enjoy you, but I don't need you. I choose you, I don't chase you. My life is full, with or without you. This is not arrogance. This is self-containment. And self-containment is deeply attractive. Why emotional control is more attractive than confidence. Most dating advice screams about confidence. But confidence without emotional regulation is fragile. The Stoic man understands something deeper. A man who can govern himself feels safe to be around. Think about it. A man who doesn't explode when challenged. Doesn't collapse when ignored. Doesn't overreact to mixed signals. Communicate strength without saying a word. Women don't fall for the loudest man in the room. They fall for the man who is calm under pressure. Stoicism calls this inner citadel. A place no external chaos can invade. Detachment is not coldness, it is power. Let's clear a dangerous misunderstanding. Stoic love is not emotional suppression. It is emotional mastery. Detachment does not mean you don't care. It means you don't cling. You can desire a woman deeply, without losing your center. You can enjoy her presence, without fearing her absence. This is where attraction flips. Because the moment a woman realizes, this man won't break if I leave, something shifts. Not because she wants to leave, but because she senses freedom, not pressure. And freedom is intoxicating. Why women test men, and why most men fail. Here's a hard truth from real experience. Women don't test men to hurt them. They test men to see who is real. They pull back. They challenge. They delay. They observe. Not consciously, instinctively. They want to know. Will this man panic? Will he lose composure? Will he abandon his values to keep me? Most men fail here. They overtext, over-explain, over-pursue, over-invest too early. The Stoic man does the opposite. He remains steady, respectful, unreactive. He doesn't punish. He doesn't beg. He doesn't perform. And in doing so, he passes the test without knowing it existed. The foundation, a life that does not revolve around her. This may be the most important secret of all. Women are attracted to men who are anchored elsewhere. Purpose, mission, discipline, self-respect. If your emotional weather depends on her replies, she becomes your center. And when a man has no center, no woman can trust him long-term. Stoicism demands. You build your body. You sharpen your mind. You discipline your habits. You cultivate meaning. Not for women, but for yourself. Women don't want to be your purpose. They want to join one. The quiet masculinity women feel before they understand. Here is the final insight for part 1. The most impressive men don't advertise their strength. They listen more than they speak. Move slowly. React less. Choose carefully. They are not in a hurry to be loved. And that patience, that grounded slowness, that emotional independence, creates a gravity no tactic can fake. Love is not always about brilliant moments, but often about patience, listening and accompanying in every small step. It is those simple things that nurture a lasting bond. That is also the reason why I believe that every experience in love is an opportunity for us to grow and become stronger. If you feel this, please click like as a way to spread positivity to more people. And if this is your first time visiting our channel, click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any lessons. I also look forward to hearing your thoughts. What is the smallest but most meaningful thing you have ever realized in love? Leave a comment below, maybe your answer will become a source of inspiration for others. Now, let's continue our journey to explore deeper perspectives right away. Part 2. Boundaries, emotional leadership, and the power of no. Most men believe that being attractive means being agreeable. They think saying yes makes them likable. Being flexible makes them safe. Avoiding conflict keeps women close. This belief quietly destroys attraction. Because attraction does not grow in comfort. It grows in clarity, tension, and respect. And respect is born from boundaries. Why women don't respect men with no edges. A man without boundaries is not kind. He is afraid. Afraid to lose. Afraid to disappoint. Afraid to stand alone. Women feel this instantly. Not logically. Not consciously. But emotionally. A man who says yes to everything communicates. I will bend myself to keep you. And that message, no matter how polite, kills desire. Stoic men understand a brutal truth. What you tolerate teaches others how to treat you. Boundaries are not walls, they are signals. Let's be precise. A boundary is not coldness, punishment, emotional withdrawal. A boundary is clarity. It says, this is where I stand. This is what I value. This is what I will not accept. Calmly. Without anger. Without explanation marathons. Stoicism teaches restraint, not weakness. A boundary delivered with calm certainty is one of the most masculine energies a woman can feel. The difference between reaction and response. Most men react. A stoic man responds. Reaction is emotional chaos. Defensive texting. Passive-aggressive silence. Emotional speeches. Proving worth. Response is composed. Minimal words. Steady tone. No need to win. Here's the key. Women watch how you handle pressure more than what you say under comfort. When she tests you, by pulling away, challenging you, or crossing a line, she is unconsciously asking, can this man remain himself when I disrupt his emotional balance? Most men fail here. The stoic man doesn't. Emotional leadership, the role men are afraid to claim. Here's something no one tells men directly. Women don't want equality in emotional direction. They want leadership. Not control. Not dominance. Leadership. Emotional leadership means you set the emotional tone. You don't mirror chaos. You don't escalate drama. If she's upset, you don't panic. If she's distant, you don't chase. If she's confused, you stay clear. Stoicism calls this hegemonikon. The ruling faculty of the mind. A man who governs himself can guide a relationship without force. Why no is more attractive than yes. Let me say this plainly. A man who cannot say no cannot be trusted when he says yes. No proves you have choice. No proves you are not desperate. No proves you have a life, values, and standards that exist before her, and will exist after her. When used calmly, no creates polarity. Not resistance. Not conflict. Polarity. And polarity is the engine of attraction. The silent test, will you abandon yourself? One of the deepest tests women unconsciously apply is this. Will this man abandon himself to keep me? They don't ask it out loud. They create situations. Asking for too much too soon. Pushing emotional responsibility onto you. Blurring your boundaries. Demanding reassurance. Most men fail by overgiving. The stoic man passes by staying rooted. He gives affection. But not at the cost of self-respect. Calm authority versus loud dominance. There is a cheap version of masculinity that is loud, rigid, and performative. Stoicism rejects that. True authority is quiet. It doesn't argue. It doesn't convince. It doesn't threaten. It decides. A stoic man doesn't justify his standards. Doesn't negotiate core values. Doesn't fear temporary disapproval. And paradoxically, women feel safer with him, not controlled. Because his emotions are predictable. His reactions are measured. His presence is steady. Detachment revisited. Choosing, not needing. Here is the emotional spine of Stoic love. Need creates pressure. Choice creates attraction. When you need her, you hurry. You cling. You compromise too fast. When you choose her, you observe. You move slowly. You let things unfold. Detachment is not indifference. It is non-attachment to outcome. You show interest, without losing posture. This is extremely rare. And rarity amplifies value. The masculine frame. Everything in this part leads to one concept. Frame. Your frame is how you see yourself. How you interpret events. How you respond emotionally. Women don't try to enter a weak frame. They try to test it. If it holds, they relax. If it collapses, they lose attraction. Stoic men don't borrow their frame from women's reactions. They build it internally. Part 3. Mystery, restraint, and why less makes you more desirable. There is a dangerous belief modern men have been taught. That emotional availability equals attraction. That transparency equals intimacy. That telling her everything builds connection. It doesn't. In fact, it often does the opposite. Stoic love does not reject emotion. It rejects emotional excess. Because attraction lives in polarity. And polarity requires space. Why mystery is not a game, it is natural order. Mystery is not silence. It is selective revelation. A man with nothing to hide. But not everything to prove. When a man explains too much. His past. His wounds. His fears. His intentions. Too early, something subtle happens. The woman stops feeling. And starts analyzing. And analysis kills desire. Stoicism understands that truth does not need to be rushed. What unfolds naturally carries weight. What is forced feels empty. Oversharing is a form of emotional neediness. This is uncomfortable, but necessary. Many men overshare not because they are honest. But because they want to be understood quickly. They want reassurance. Validation. Emotional safety. They want to collapse distance too soon. But attraction needs distance. Not emotional coldness. Emotional pacing. A Stoic man shares. When it's earned. When it's relevant. When it adds depth. Not when he feels anxious. The feminine wants to discover, not be informed. Here is a quiet truth from lived experience. Women want to discover a man. Not receive a full briefing. Discovery creates curiosity. Curiosity creates imagination. Imagination fuels desire. When everything is explained, labeled, clarified, there is nothing left to feel into. Stoicism respects the power of the unspoken. Silence is not absence. It is presence without noise. Restraint is strength, not suppression. Restraint does not mean you don't feel. It means you choose what deserves expression. A Stoic man feels deeply. But reacts selectively. He does not vent emotionally. Dump stress. Seek soothing. From a woman he is courting. Not because he is fake. But because he is grounded elsewhere. His emotional weight is carried by purpose. Discipline. Solitude. Self-mastery. Women sense this. And it creates polarity. Sexual polarity requires unequal energies. Polarity does not mean superiority. It means difference. Masculine energy is steady. Directional. slow to change. Feminine energy is fluid, expressive, emotionally dynamic. When a man becomes emotionally reactive, mood-driven, validation-seeking, overexpressive, he mirrors the feminine. And polarity collapses. Stoic men preserve polarity by remaining emotionally anchored, even when feelings are strong. Why being too available backfires? Availability sounds virtuous. But constant availability communicates no competing priorities, emotional dependence, lack of internal structure. A Stoic man is present, but not always accessible. He has training, work, solitude, personal rituals. Not to appear busy, but because his life is full. A woman does not feel rejected by this. She feels intrigued. Because attention that is chosen feels more valuable than attention that is free. The masculine pace. Attraction grows at the pace of the grounded man, not the anxious one. Stoic men move slowly. In intimacy. In promises. In emotional depth. They allow anticipation to build. They don't rush labels. They don't rush commitment. They don't rush reassurance. They let consistency speak. The trap of emotional honesty culture. Modern culture encourages men to expose everything. Process emotions out loud. Seek comfort from partners. This works in established, secure bonds. It fails in attraction-building phases. Stoic love separates timing from truth. Just because something is true does not mean it must be said now. Wisdom is knowing when silence serves better than speech. Power lies in emotional self-sufficiency. Here is the core of part 3. The man who can sit with his emotions without discharging them becomes magnetic. He doesn't ask her to regulate him. He doesn't lean emotionally. He enjoys her without using her. This creates a rare dynamic. She feels chosen, not needed. And being chosen is infinitely more attractive than being needed. Love is a great lesson in maturity. It challenges us with fragility, teaches us patience through waiting, and gives us strength after being hurt. Here, I don't just tell stories for you to listen to, but for you to reflect on yourself and find your own lessons. If you find it valuable, please click like and subscribe, so you don't miss out on the shares that can change the way you look at love. Now, get ready with me, because the rest will have a lot more depth waiting for you. Part 4. Comfort with loss, why the man who can walk away is the one women respect. There is a fear that lives quietly inside most men. Not fear of rejection. Not fear of loneliness. But a deeper one. Fear of loss. The fear that if she leaves, something essential will be taken from them. Women sense this fear long before men admit it to themselves. And nothing dissolves attraction faster than a man who is afraid to lose. Why fear of loss changes your behavior before you notice. Fear doesn't announce itself. It leaks. It leaks into how fast you text back. How carefully you choose words. How much you tolerate. How often you seek reassurance. You begin to negotiate yourself away, slowly. Not because she demands it, but because you're trying to prevent an imagined ending. Stoicism teaches a brutal clarity. What you fear losing already owns you. The Stoic relationship with impermanence. Stoics don't pretend loss won't happen. They accept that everything is temporary. Relationships. Attraction. Presence. Emotions. This acceptance doesn't make them cold. It makes them unshakable. A Stoic man does not build his identity on outcomes. He enjoys connection fully, while knowing it may end. This paradox creates freedom. And freedom is seductive. Why women test a man's willingness to walk away. Here is an uncomfortable truth. Women often test not to see how much you want them, but to see whether you would survive without them. They create friction. Emotional distance. Sudden coldness. Subtle disrespect. Withdrawal of affection. Not because they are cruel, but because they are searching for certainty. They are asking, is this man with me because he chooses me, or because he needs me? Most men answer wrongly. They cling. Clinging is not love, it is anxiety. Clinging feels like devotion to the man experiencing it. To a woman, it feels like pressure. Pressure suffocates desire. The Stoic man loves without clinging. He is present, but not attached. If she pulls away, he does not chase. If she crosses a line, he addresses it, or leaves. Calmly. Without threats. Without drama. This is not manipulation. This is self-respect in motion. The power of emotional non-resistance. One of the most attractive qualities in a man is non-resistance. When things are good, he enjoys them. When things shift, he adjusts. When things end, he accepts. He does not fight reality. He does not bargain with fate. Stoicism calls this amor fati. The love of fate. A man who accepts outcomes effortlessly. Feels dangerous, rare, and deeply masculine. Why walking away is a form of leadership. Leadership is not convincing someone to stay. Leadership is showing, I will not abandon my values to keep you. When a man walks away from disrespect, inconsistency, emotional manipulation, he sends a message louder than words. I am complete. Women may not like it in the moment, but they respect it. And respect is the soil where desire grows. Comfort with loss creates emotional safety. Here's the paradox. A man who is comfortable with losing a woman makes her feel safer staying. Why? Because she does not feel responsible for his emotional survival. She is free to choose him, not trapped by his need. Stoic men do not burden women with the task of keeping them whole. They arrive whole. The masculine spine, I will be fine. The inner dialogue of the Stoic man is simple. I want her. But I will be fine without her. Not said aloud. Not used as a tactic. It is lived. This belief changes posture, tone, decisions, patience. And women feel it instantly. Detachment without bitterness. There is a wrong way to detach. The bitter way. The resentful way. The emotionally armored way. Stoic detachment is different. It is warm, but not dependent. Open, but not desperate. Loving, but not afraid. This balance is rare. And rarity creates value. The moment attraction either dies or deepens. There is always a moment in every connection where fear appears. Fear of losing her. Fear of not being enough. Most men collapse inward here. Stoic men expand. They stand taller, not louder. They accept whatever comes, without losing dignity. And in that moment, attraction either dies or deepens beyond surface-level desire. Part 5. Stoic love and practice, becoming the man a woman chooses again and again. Attraction is easy to spark. Attention is cheap. Desire, real desire, is rare. What most men truly want is not conquest. They want to be respected, to be desired without begging, to be chosen without chasing. Stoic love is not about tricks to win women. It is about becoming the kind of man who does not need to win. Why long-term desire is built on inner order. Chaos attracts chaos, briefly. Order attracts depth, slowly. A Stoic man has inner order. His life is structured. Disciplined habits. Emotional regulation. Purpose beyond romance. Because of this, he does not use women to escape loneliness, boredom, or insecurity. Women feel this immediately. And here's the truth they rarely say out loud. A woman stays where she feels she is an addition, not a solution. Consistency is the ultimate aphrodisiac. Not excitement. Not intensity. Not constant emotional fireworks. Consistency. A Stoic man shows up the same on good days and bad. Does not oscillate emotionally. Does not withdraw affection to punish. This reliability creates trust. And trust creates relaxed desire. The kind that deepens instead of burns out. Unpredictable men create short passion. Grounded men create lasting attraction. Masculine presence over masculine performance. Performance is exhausting. Trying to be witty all the time. Impressive all the time. Dominant all the time. Is unsustainable. Stoic masculinity is presence. Being fully where you are. Listening without rushing. Speaking without forcing. A man who is present does not compete for attention. He commands it silently. The balance, warmth without weakness. Many men swing between extremes. Cold and distant. Or warm and needy. Stoic love lives in the middle. The Stoic man expresses desire calmly. Gives affection freely. But never at the cost of dignity. He does not weaponize silence. He does not overgive love to secure attachment. He lets affection flow. Without attachment to outcome. This balance is rare. And rarity creates gravity. Why women stay with men who respect themselves. A woman does not stay because a man needs her. She stays because she respects him. She trusts his leadership. She feels safe in his emotional stability. Self-respect is contagious. When a man respects himself, he sets standards. He enforces boundaries. He leaves when necessary. And paradoxically, this makes women want to meet his standards, not test them endlessly. Love without possession. Stoic love understands something modern culture forgets. Love is not ownership. You do not possess her time. Her emotions. Her future. You share space, freely. A Stoic man does not monitor, control, or interrogate. He trusts, until given a reason not to. And if trust breaks, he does not beg. He does not rage. He removes himself with dignity. This quiet self-sufficiency is unforgettable. The final transformation. When Stoic love is embodied fully, something changes. You stop asking, how do I keep her interested? What should I text? Am I doing enough? And start living as a man who knows. I am enough, with or without her. From that place, attraction becomes natural. Respect becomes mutual. Love becomes chosen. Not clung to. Why this man is rare. Most men fear being alone. Fear being disliked. Fear being replaced. So they compromise themselves. Stoic men accept solitude as strength. They build inner silence. Emotional spine. Personal mission. They do not rush connection. They allow women to arrive, or leave. And this calm freedom is magnetic. The woman's perspective, unspoken. A woman with a stoic man feels emotionally safe, deeply respected, freely chosen. She does not feel pressured to save him. She does not feel responsible for his happiness. She can relax into her femininity. And relaxed femininity chooses stability over chaos, again and again. Final truth of Stoic love. Let this be the final sentence of the series. The most attractive man is not the one who tries to be loved, but the one who is already at peace with himself. From that peace, desire grows. Respect deepens. Love becomes voluntary. Not forced. Not chased. Not manipulated. Conclusion. The quiet power that truly attracts women. At the end of the day, attracting a woman is not about techniques, timing, or saying the right things. It is about who you are when nothing is going your way. Stoic love teaches a simple but uncomfortable truth. Women are not drawn to men who try to be impressive. They are drawn to men who are internally complete. A man who governs his emotions, honors his boundaries, respects his own path, and is not afraid of loss creates something rare, emotional gravity. He does not chase desire. Desire moves toward him. He does not cling to love. Love chooses him freely. This man is calm under pressure, warm without being needy, present without being attached. He enjoys connection deeply, while remaining whole if it ends. That is the paradox. The more a man needs a woman to feel complete, the less attractive he becomes. The more he is complete on his own, the more women want to be part of his world. Stoic love is not cold. It is not distant. It is disciplined. It is love without fear. Desire without desperation. Attachment without dependency. When you stop asking, how do I make her want me? And start living as a man who respects himself, leads his life, and accepts any outcome with dignity. Attraction stops being a problem to solve. It becomes a natural byproduct of who you are. And in the end, that is the only kind of attraction that lasts. So today's video has ended. Thank you for taking the time to watch it all. I hope you have learned valuable lessons and these shares will help you on your love journey. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to receive more interesting content in the future. I'm very grateful for your support and see you again in the next videos. Wishing you all love and happiness.